What's up, Boulder, Colorado? Good morning. All right, now listen. I know they say there is no such thing as a moral victory, and we said that yesterday on our channel as well. But I do think that most people who watched the Oregon game last week and who watched this game against USC feel different after the two losses. Losses are losses. At the end of the day, you play to win the game. I know the quote. But personally, I felt optimistic slightly about what I saw from the team yesterday. And Coach Prime felt the same way. We're going to show you that in just a minute. First of all, the fans showed up in a big way yesterday. You guys know every game's going to be sold out. That's not a shock to you at all. But even Lincoln Riley, who has coached in some of the biggest games that we've seen, he's coached in the playoff, he's coached in some massive, massive games, commented about the atmosphere there in Boulder. So if you were at the game, if you were making noise, if you were loud, if you were cheering on our guys, hats off to you. More importantly, the future in Boulder is looking incredibly bright. Two young guys that we're going to talk about in just a moment showed up and played incredible football. And Coach Prime's response to those two guys was truly special. So yesterday, with the entire country watching, the GOAT, Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, put on an absolute masterclass. Colorado came into this game as a 21-point dog, the same as they were against Oregon. We told you in the game preview, Coach Prime's team had nothing to lose. All of the pressure was on USC, and these Buffaloes showed up, and they battled like true heroes. Today, we've got a bunch of stuff to cover. We'll try and go quick, but kick back, grab a snack, and let's run through it all. All right, first up, we're going to talk about these two young kids who played incredible. They showed up when their number was called. First one is Cormani McClain. Make no mistake about it. When Coach Prime spoke about Cormani last week, it was a chess master making moves. He knew he had to light a fire in this young man, and he clearly pressed the right buttons. For those of you who missed it, last week Cormani was called out by Coach Prime for not showing up to practice and working hard. We put out 2 videos covering the situation. In the second video, things were sounding so bad, we asked you guys to post words of encouragement for Cormani. And we got an overwhelming response. Thank you so much for that. And those words must have helped because yesterday Cormani came to play. He had some beautiful pass breakups on some of the best wide receivers in the country. He got an interception that was stolen from him by the refs on a horrible defensive pass interference call. In the post-game press conference, Coach Prime said that Cormani had been playing terribly prior to this game, but after the game, Coach Prime was truly surprised with how well Cormani played. Take a listen.
Several guys played. Cormani came in and contributed tremendously. Did a great job going in.
And the great news is Cormani wasn't the only young player that showed up. I'm going to talk about the other one as soon as I give some love here in a special way. Recently, I've been telling you guys more and more about me, whether it's stories about my kids or whatever, and there's something I need you guys to know. I'm busy. 3 kids have me running a ton, and sometimes I miss entire meals because I'm chasing them around. But then I found Factor. Now, I know what you're thinking. Those pre-made meal kits can't be any good, can they? Well, they are. They have over 34 weekly flavor-packed, fresh, never frozen meals that are ready to eat in just 2 minutes. And if you're like me, too busy to cook during the fall when all of this is going on, but you want to make sure that you're eating well with Factor, you can skip that trip to the grocery store, all the chopping, prepping, and cleaning up too, while still getting flavor and the nutritional quality you need. Now, I know your next concern is price. Well, the price is way less than buying all these ingredients at the store or some kind of fast food. But if you still don't believe me, let me help you with your first box. Go to factor75.com or click on the link below and use code PRIMETIME50 to get 50% off of your first box. Again, the link is below. Head to factor75.com or click on the link below and use code PRIMETIME50 to get 50% off your first box. All right, the next player we want to talk about, the second young player who put on a clinic for Colorado yesterday, and that was Omarion Miller, who played amazingly yesterday. He caught 7 receptions for 196 yards, also had a touchdown. Colorado's down several of their top receivers. Obviously, you guys know about Hunter being out. This kid stepped up when his name was called. He stepped up when Coach Prime pointed at him and said, you go out there and you make things happen. And what a special way he did it. He helped get the Colorado Buffaloes back in this game. And man, he was a target that Shedeur looked to over and over again yesterday on the field. After the game, Coach Prime was shocked about the efforts out of Omarion and admitted this performance came out of nowhere. Take a listen.
So once that continues, I didn't think we was going to get that from Omarion. I ain't seen that yet. No, I mean, he hadn't practiced well. That's why he hadn't played. But he was forced into action, and he showed up and showed out, and we celebrated him after the game because of how he stepped up. And now I'm pretty certain that his confidence is going to soar through the roof. So now we could really call set plays for him and really depend on him a lot more, because when he could take the pressure off Xavier and Jimmy, that and in the running game as well, that's tremendous. But I'm proud of him.
When Coach Prime talks about a player like that, you know something truly amazing has happened. And sure enough, with those 196 yards, Omarion set a Colorado freshman record for receiving. Next up, we're going to talk about the Buffaloes' overall team performance. First up, this offense hung 41 points on the number 8 team in the country. This Buffaloes team came to play, and Coach Prime was, I'll say, happy with the outcome. Take a listen. You tell me.
Wonderful game. Played our hearts out. I just addressed the team and told them that I love each and every one of them, and coaches included, because they were resilient. They did not give up when they had multiple opportunities to give up. They fought to the end. We sustained injuries. Next man up came in and did their thing.
Now, again, we're not into moral victories, and I know this is crazy, but the game didn't even really feel like a loss because of, I think, how far we've seen this team come. I think we've seen the growth and the development, and we also understand what this team was just 12 months ago. Coach Prime later went on to say this, and maybe you can draw some conclusions from here too.
But overall, I'm really proud of not only the young men, the coaches, the fan base, the student body, all of you. I'm truly proud of the way we represented Boulder today. I really am. Let's go.
Now, on the other side, Lincoln Riley, again, we told you he thought that the atmosphere was amazing. We'll give him a little time to speak, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
A tremendous atmosphere, and we'll give Colorado, their fans, everybody a lot of credit. And another, it was really a tremendous road atmosphere. Even when we got up, that they kept, kind of kept it loud in there, and I felt like kind of kept their team in it in a lot of ways. So.
Now, not only was the atmosphere amazing, but Colorado played so well that USC fans literally took their pitchforks out after the game. And in that same press conference, Lincoln Riley was asked about his commitment to their defensive coordinator, Alex Grinch, and whether he still had faith in the coordinator. Now, Riley said he did. Of course, he's going to defend his guy up there on the screen. But I know they won the game on the scoreboard, and they deserve full credit for that. But when you win a game and your fan base wants to fire coaches, clearly things didn't go as planned. Colorado started slow. I don't think anybody would deny that. USC got out to a big lead. I think all of us sat there when USC had a big lead and thought, please don't let this turn into what we saw last week. Please do not let this end up being a replay of that Oregon game. Show some fight, guys. Come back. Get back into it. And again, we're not going to hype the moral victory. We're not going to hype a loss. But we are going to hype effort. And we are going to hype being proud of guys. It would have been very easy for this team to hang their heads and say, look, we're just not as good. Look, it's just like Oregon. We're just not as good as these guys. We just can't hang with them. We're not there yet. We'll get there next year. We'll show teams in the second half of the year. We don't have Travis. We don't have Shiloh. We're down a couple of our best players. We'll get them next time, guys. It would have been very easy for kids to do that, but that's not what they did. And we're not going to hype the loss. We're not going to say, oh, this was a moral victory. Oh, this is great. But we are going to hype the effort. We are going to hype the intensity. We are going to hype the fact that they didn't hang their heads. They didn't quit. They didn't give up. That is part of the culture change that Coach Prime is putting in. Because I can guarantee you, the team last year that won one game, down by 20, would have given up, would have quit, would not have continued on. Colorado made it close. USC took the lead back to go up 21, and you kind of thought they're like, can they get back in it? Will they have enough? And they absolutely did. If they had moved a little bit faster down the field on that last drive that they scored on, they probably get the ball back with a chance to potentially go out there and tie it up. But you were a 21-point dog last week against Oregon, and you just basically got taken out behind the woodshed, and you got a whooping, an old-fashioned beatdown. And I think we all thought that there was a point where this game could have ended up the same way. You're down a couple guys. You're not playing so well. It's 2 weeks in a row. And, man, that is not what happened out there at all. They fought their tails off. They got back in the game. Slight chance late, but they made USC sweat. They made a top 10 team in the country sweat. And it has a lot to do with not only those kids, but this staff and Coach Prime and the culture that he's building there in Colorado. All week, we told you that the pressure was on USC. I thought there was a little pressure on Colorado early. They didn't start super sharp. But, man, once they got gelling, this team showed you what they're capable of against a very good USC team. Now, can they turn it around? Can they take these couple of losses? These couple of losses that were not unexpected. You were 20-point underdogs in both. Can they take those losses and now start to turn things around? They're still 3-2. They've still won more games than most people were expecting. But now, how do you move forward? How do you play against the Arizona States and the Arizonas and the Oregon States and the Utahs and the other teams, Stanford, USC? How do you play against the rest of this schedule? Because the Pac-12 is really good this year. Can Colorado find a way to turn this into wins? I'm incredibly proud of the young guys that we talked about. I'm incredibly proud of Cormani. As many positive comments as there were some negative comments there as well that I didn't love seeing. But I did love to see that kid turn around. And if you left the negative comments, prayers up for you and for Cormani, because that man came out and proved it. Coach Prime was proud of him. I'm proud of him. I want to see him continue on. Let me tell you something. He was shutting guys down too. When he and Hunter are out there, that might have been the little kick in the pants he needed last week. When he and Hunter are out there, they're going to be shutting some stuff down. He was elite out there on the outside yesterday. Really good. Go back and rewatch the film. He was great. When him and Hunter are out there, if he keeps his head screwed on straight, that could be something. That could be something to watch. I'm proud of the guys. I'm proud of the effort. I don't love losing. I hate losing. I hate losing more than I love winning. I'll tell you guys that. That's how I am. Coach Prime didn't quote that to me, but I bet you he's the same way. Hates losing more than he loves winning. But the future is bright. I'm telling you that. I'm telling you we're heading in the right direction. And you're going to start to see it in these next few weeks. Make sure that you're locked in with us. We got a lot of content coming. Hopefully you enjoyed some aspects, again, not the result, but some aspects of yesterday's game. I do think it's encouraging. I'm encouraged about the future. If you are too, let us know. We appreciate you guys, as always, for all the love and support. We appreciate you guys for all that you do for this channel, and thank you for watching the Prime Time for College Football.